My wife cheated with 6 men over 2 years, and even conspired with a fixer to film the affairs for blackmail. Now I hold every video, and the downfall she faces will be devastating. The USB drive rested in my locker like a tumor. I had found it on Tuesday morning after my shift, wedged between my thermos and my work gloves. No note, no cinder, just a black plastic rectangle that felt heavier than it should. The hospital basement hummed around me. The boilers cycle, the ventilation systems breathing their mechanical rhythm. I had been fixing things for 22 years in the dark corners where no one looked. 22 years of being invisible. I should have thrown it away. Instead, I plugged it into the old computer in the maintenance office. The screen flickered and then filled with a video player. My finger hovered over the mouse. Something cold ran down my spine. The kind of feeling you get when you hear footsteps in an empty building. I clicked play. The image was grainy, but clear enough. A motel room with faded yellow wallpaper, the kind with roses that looked more like dark red smudges. A woman on the bed, her reddish-brown hair catching the light from the lamp. My wife, Melissa. The man with her was not me. He was younger, maybe around 35, with tattoos running down his arms and an arrogant smile that turned my stomach. They moved together as if they had done it before, many times before. The timestamp indicated it was 3 months ago, but the naturalness between them suggested years. The video went to black. Then text appeared. This is just one. I also know about the others. Pay me $50,000 or everyone will find out. You have 72 hours. A phone number blinked at the bottom. I leaned back in my chair. The humid basement air suddenly felt thin. The others in plural. Not just this mistake, this single moment of weakness. Others. My hands were not shaking. That surprised me. 23 years of marriage, 2 children in college, a mortgage, shared dreams of retirement. All of it crumbling in 8 minutes of footage, and my hands were steady as stone. I rewound the video, studying the room. The wallpaper pattern was familiar, pink on yellow with a damp stain near the headboard shaped like Texas. I had seen it before. The Riverside Motel. 6 months ago I had fixed their dryer system. I spent 3 days in that place, room by room, checking connections. I remember laughing with the manager about that wallpaper, how it looked like a crime scene. Now it was. I copied the file to my personal drive and deleted the original. The computer fanned word as it processed, the only sound in the concrete tomb where I spent my nights. Above me, the hospital bustled with life. Doctors saving people, nurses comforting families, janitors cleaning up the evidence of human fragility. Down here, I planned my first move. The motel manager, Kowalski, remembered me. It was hard not to. I was the guy who had saved him $5,000 on a new dryer system. Yen, what brings you here? More equipment failing. Actually, yes, I said, lifting my toolbox to play the part. I received a report about inconsistent water temperature in the East Wing. Do you mind if I check the main line? Pitt waved me through. Go ahead. You know the place better than I do, and I did. Every pipe, every wire, every camera angle. The Riverside was one of those places that attracted people who paid in cash and did not want questions. Pitt had installed security cameras after a robbery 2 years ago, but they were poorly positioned, more for show than for real surveillance. Room 237 was where they had recorded the video. I knocked, heard nothing, and used my technique to override the master key. Perks of maintenance. The room was empty, recently cleaned, but the wallpaper was unmistakable. The Texas-shaped water stain, right where I remembered it. I set up my equipment and got to work on the pipes, but my real target was the guest registration system. Pitt kept digital records for the last 3 years. It is amazing what people do not protect properly. While running diagnostics on the water heater, I opened the check-in logs on my tablet. I cross-referenced the dates with Melissa's business trips and girls' weekends for the last 2 years. The pattern made my chest tighten. October 15th, 2023. Kai Brand, room 237. The same date Melissa claimed she was visiting her sister in Phoenix. December 3rd, 2023. Ronald H., room 215. Melissa's mandatory conference in Denver. February 18th, 2024. Dincier, room 203. Her spa weekend with college friends. April 22nd, 2024. Brenderstone, room 237. Again, the weekend she supposedly helped her mother move. June 8th, 2024. Victor Show, room 189. A business retreat that did not exist. August 14th, 2024. Joel Barrera. Room 237. Her most recent girl's trip to Las Vegas. 6 names, 6 different men. 6 times my wife had driven 40 minutes out of town to lie naked with strangers while I fixed broken things in the hospital basement. The dates told a story I had been too blind to read. Melissa's new gym membership coincided with Joel Barrera. Her sudden interest in classic cars coincided with Ronald Hall's first visit. Her DIY projects at home coincided with Din Sire, who worked in construction. Each man had given her a new hobby, a new interest, a new reason to be somewhere else. I printed the records and put them in my toolbox. Pitt found me an hour later finishing a real repair job. You found the problem. Yes, I said, putting away my tools. I found exactly what I was looking for. That night I sat in my truck outside the riverside, watching. The window of room 237 glowed with a yellow light. At 11:47 at night, a motorcycle pulled up. Kai Brand, the blackmailer, with his arrogance intact even from a distance, knocked on the door of 237 and it opened immediately. Melissa had been waiting. I did not sleep that night. Instead, I planned. Kill Brand lived in a duplex by the river that had seen better decades. The address was easy enough to find. Blackmailers are not usually concerned with operational security. His motorcycle was in the driveway next to a rusty truck. On Thursday night, I knocked on his door. He opened it wearing jeans and a stained tank top with a beer in his hand, in his mid-30s, exactly like in the video, with the same arrogant smile that had turned my stomach. Yes, Carl Brandt, it depends on who is asking. In Carrick, I think you sent me something. His smile widened. Well, I did not expect you to show up in person. He stepped aside, inviting me in. Come on, let us talk business. The duplex reeked of engine oil and stale cigarettes. Motorcycle parts cluttered every surface, and the coffee table was a graveyard of empty bottles. Cale settled into a recliner that probably came with the place. Do you want a beer? I am fine, suit yourself. He took a long swig from his bottle. So, have you seen my little movie? I saw it. Good quality, right? I invested in decent equipment. HD makes everything look better. He leaned forward. Especially your wife. I kept my voice level. You want 50,000? That is the starting price. But since you are here, maybe we can work out a deal. You seem reasonable. I am reasonable. That is why I came to talk instead of calling the police. Cale laughed. Police for what? Everything in that video was consensual. Your wife is a grown woman. She makes her own decisions. Blackmail is still illegal. Prove it. I never asked for money. I just shared information and mentioned what could happen if it got out. Freedom of speech, brother. I studied the room while he talked. Pizza boxes, motorcycle magazines, and there on the television stand, a stack of DVD cases hand-labeled with a black marker. I could not read the writing from where I was sitting, but my chest tightened anyway. You said there were others. Oh, there are. Your wife has been very busy. Cale's smile was predatory. But that stays between you and me for now. Pay up, and it will stay that way. What if I want to see them first to make sure you are not bluffing? Cale hesitated, then shrugged. Fair enough, but just a preview. Free samples, then you pay for the full show. He got up and walked to the television stand. I counted 4 DVDs with Melissa's name on them, plus several others labeled with different women's names. Cale had been running this operation for a while. He selected a DVD and slid it into the player. The television came to life, showing Melissa with a different man, older, bald, someone I did not recognize. This was last year. The guy's name is Victor Chow. He lives about 3 blocks from you. Actually, divorced, lonely, an easy target. Cale fast-forwarded through the scenes. Your wife has a type. Men who need her. Makes them feel special. Makes them pay attention. Textbook predatory behavior. Really, the casual way he described it made my skin crawl. But I kept watching, kept learning. How many? 6 in total, counting me. Well, 5 others. I am special. His laugh was unpleasant. I am the one with the camera. A door opened at the back of the duplex. Footsteps. Then Melissa appeared in the hallway wearing one of Cale's shirts and nothing else. Her face went white when she saw me. Eason, what? How? Sit down, Kay told her. Your husband and I are discussing terms. She looked from one to the other, fear and defiance warring in her expression. You cannot be here. This is what? I asked quietly. Private, personal, your business. It is complicated. Actually, it is not. I stood up, ignoring Cale's sudden tension. 23 years of marriage, 2 kids, a life we built together. You threw it away. Why? For 6 different men who mean nothing to you. They are not. It is not like that. Then, explain it to me. She could not or would not. She just stood there in another man's shirt in another man's house after 23 years of lying to my face. Cale cleared his throat. This is all very touching, but we still have business to discuss. I looked at him, really looked at him. I noticed the camera equipment in the corner, the tripods, the professional lighting equipment hidden behind cheap curtains. This was not just blackmail. This was a production. You filmed them all. Insurance policy. It is amazing what people do when they think no one is watching. He pointed to the DVD collection. And it is amazing what they will pay to keep it that way. And if I do not pay, then everyone finds out. Your kids, your boss, your neighbors. The internet is forever. Yen. One upload, and your wife becomes a celebrity. I walked to the television stand and picked up one of the DVDs. Joel Barrera read on the label. Melissa's trainer. Cale nodded. That gym rat thinks he is God's gift to women. Your wife made him believe she was going to leave you for him. Another DVD, Ronald H., car salesman. He still thinks she is looking for a new vehicle. The next one, Brinterston. High school reunion. An old flame rekindled. Cale was enjoying this, savoring my reaction to each revelation. They all think they are special. They all think she chose them. The last one made my stomach clench. Denier, I knew that name. Melissa had mentioned him, a contractor she had worked with on a charity project. I had even met him once at a company picnic. He does not know about the others. None of them do. That is the beauty of it. They all think they are the exception. Cale finished his beer and crushed the can. Your wife is a professional, Yen. She makes each one feel like the only one. I put the DVDs back carefully. 72 hours, you said. That is right. 50,000, and all this goes away. I looked at Melissa one last time. She would not meet my gaze. I will be in touch, I said and walked out. Behind me, I heard Cale laugh. Smart man, he shouted. Family is worth more than pride. He had no idea how right he was. I took a week off from work. 22 years at the hospital had earned me enough sick days and personal time to disappear from the radar. I told my supervisor I had family matters to attend to. That was not a lie. The first man I followed was Ronald H. KIR had called him a car salesman, and sure enough, he worked at Premier Auto on the south side. I watched him for 3 days, learning his patterns. Coffee at 7 in the morning, work until 6 in the evening, gym on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Drinks at the Muffish Bar on Fridays. On Wednesday, I showed up at Premier Auto looking for a used truck. Ronigel, I asked the receptionist. That is me. He appeared from behind a row of his Versus with his hand extended, mid-40s, still fighting a losing battle with his waistline, wearing a tie that had seen better days. How can I help you? We spent an hour looking at trucks. Ronnie was good at his job, friendly, knowledgeable, not too pushy. In other circumstances, I might have liked him. Are you married? He asked as we examined a Ford F-150, 23 years. Lucky man, I am single. Well, more or less. His smile was conspiratorial. I have a thing with a married woman. It sounds bad, but her husband is a real mess. He neglects her, you know. She deserves better. My hand remained steady on the hood of the truck. Oh, yes. A beautiful woman, reddish-brown hair, very smart. I met her at a charity event last year. We just connected. He lowered his voice. I do not usually go for married women, but this one is special. She is talking about leaving him. That sounds complicated. Life is complicated. Sometimes you have to take a risk. He patted the truck's fender. Speaking of taking a risk, this beauty is not going to last long at this price. I have another guy coming to see it on Friday. I played the interested buyer for another 20 minutes. Then I left with a business card and a promise to think about it. In the parking lot, I called the number that CA had left with the USB drive. Yes, this is Eisencarrick. Ready to pay. I want to meet tonight. Same place. Cale was silent for a moment. Are you bringing money? I am bringing questions. Questions do not pay my bills. Answer them, and maybe they will. He agreed to meet at 9 at night. I spent the afternoon preparing. The duplex looked the same, but this time I noticed details I had missed. Security cameras on the neighbors' houses. A clear view of Cale's front door from at least 3 angles. The motorcycle parked in different places, sometimes in the driveway, sometimes on the street. Kay was either careless or confident. He opened the door in the same clothes as before. Where's my money? Where's my wife? Working late. Her real job, not the side business. He stepped aside to let me in. You have questions? Shoot. I sat on the couch this time, forcing CA to stand. Power dynamics matter, even in shabby duplexes. Ronald Hell thinks Melissa is going to leave me for him. Kale laughed. That is what they all think. All of them. Well, maybe not all of them. Victor Show is just looking for company since his divorce. And Din Sire knows she is married. He thinks that makes things more exciting. Kale got another beer from the fridge, but Ronnie and that gym teacher, Joel, they think they are in love. Joel Barrera is a high school teacher. He coaches wrestling too. A real champion. He has convinced himself that your wife is a tragic figure trapped in a loveless marriage. Kale's smile was malicious. That shows how little he knows. I filed that information away in Brenderston. High school sweethearts reunited at their 25th anniversary. They could not resist picking up where they left off. Kale settled into his recliner. That was 18 months ago. He still sees her twice a month. They all still see her as regularly as clockwork, except for Din. He has been traveling for work. But the others, oh, yes. Your wife has a schedule that would make a corporate executive envious. The casual way he described it made something cold settle in my chest. This was not passion or even simple infidelity. This was systematic, organized, professional. How long has this been going on? It depends on what you mean by this. The affairs, a couple of years, maybe more. The filming. Kale pointed to his equipment about 18 months. Once I discovered the pattern, I started documenting everything to Blackmail as insurance. Your wife is not the only married woman in town with interesting hobbies. He pointed to the DVD shelf. I have enough material to retire comfortably. I looked at the collection again. Dozens of boxes, dozens of names. Kale was running a very thorough operation. What makes you think I am not just going to turn you in? Because then everyone sees the footage. Your kids, your coworkers, your neighbors. Sure, I go to jail, but your life explodes too. Kale took a long swig. Besides, $50,000 is cheaper than her divorce lawyer. He was right about the math, but he was wrong about everything else. I need time to get the money together. How much time? A week, maybe 2. Kale considered it 2 weeks max, but the price goes up. 60,000 interest, you know. I nodded and stood up. I will be in touch. Smart choice. Family is everything, right? I left without answering, but Kale was right about family. It was everything, and I was going to protect mine no matter the cost, just not with money. On Saturday night, I watched Kale's duplex from 3 blocks away. He left at 8:47 in the evening on his motorcycle, probably heading to the Muffish bar, like half the divorced men in town. I gave him 20 minutes and then drove closer. The duplex was on a dead-end street overlooking the river, no streetlights, minimal traffic, neighbors who kept to themselves. Perfect for Kale's operation, also perfect for mine. Breaking and entering was not something they taught in maintenance training, but 22 years of emergency repairs had given me a different skill set. Frozen pipes in vacant houses, electrical failures in locked offices, water damage in empty buildings. I had learned to get into places quickly and quietly. Kale's security was amateur work. The back door had a basic deadbolt and a chain. The chain was useless, designed to keep the door from swinging wide open, not to prevent entry. The deadbolt was standard residential grade, the kind you can find at any hardware store. I used a bump key I had made years ago for legitimate maintenance jobs. 3 minutes later, I was inside. The duplex felt different at night, smaller, more cluttered, heavy with the smell of cigarettes and motor oil. I moved methodically, photographing everything with my phone, the living room setup, the bedroom equipment, the DVD boxes, and the recording equipment in the closet. Kale's computer was on a desk in the bedroom, surrounded by hard drives and cables, professional-grade equipment of the type used for video editing and storage. This was not a simple amateur blackmail scheme. Kale had invested a lot of money in his operation. I turned on the computer with no password protection. Apparently, Kale felt safe in his Riverside hideout. The desktop was organized like a business. Folders labeled by date, location, and the woman's name. Melissa had her own folder with subfolders for each man. I connected a portable hard drive and started copying terabytes of data, videos, photos, documents. Kale had been meticulous, keeping notes on each target, their schedules, their weaknesses, their relationships. A blackmailer's manual. While the files were transferring, I explored the rest of the setup. Kale had hidden cameras all over the duplex, motion sensors, even a backup recording system. He documented everything, probably as much for his own protection as for blackmail material. The copy finished at 11:23 at night. I had everything. Cale's entire operation stored on my portable drive, video evidence of my wife with 6 different men, plus documentation of at least a dozen other affairs that Cale had filmed in the last 2 years. I could have left. Then, I should have left. Instead, I kept searching. In Cale's file cabinet, I found contracts, real contracts with signatures and payment schedules. Cale was blackmailing people. He was offering a service. Married women paid him to arrange and document their affairs, creating leverage for divorce proceedings or simply for the thrill of controlled danger. Melissa had signed one 18 months ago. The contract laid out the terms like a business agreement. Cale would provide discrete locations, select potential partners, manage scheduling, and maintain documentation. In return, the clients paid a monthly fee plus bonuses for successful connections. My wife had not just been having affairs. She had been paying someone to arrange them for her. The front door opened at 11:41 at night. I heard Cale's keys hit the coffee table, his boots on the wooden floor. The refrigerator door opened and closed. He was settling in for the night, probably planning to review his latest footage or count his blackmail money. I stood in the bedroom with the portable drive in my pocket, thinking fast. The window overlooked a 10-foot drop onto concrete. The bedroom door opened directly into the living room where Cale was moving around. There were no good options now. Footsteps approached the bedroom. I had maybe 10 seconds. The closet door was already open, revealing Cale's collection of equipment and blackmail materials. I slid inside, closing the door almost completely, leaving only a crack to see and breathe through. Cale entered the bedroom, still wearing his jacket. He sat down at the computer, waking it from sleep mode. The screen showed the same desktop I had been exploring 20 minutes earlier. He frowned, checking the recent files. I had been careful, but a computer forensics analysis could probably detect my intrusion if Cale knew to look. He did not know. After a few minutes of random clicking, he opened a video file. My stomach churned as I recognized Melissa's voice. Cale watched it for a few minutes, then closed the file and opened another and another. He was reviewing his collection like a miser counting coins. At 12:15 at night, he finally turned off the computer and went to bed. I waited another hour before slipping out the back door. In my truck, I connected the portable drive and randomly checked the files. It was all there. Cale's entire blackmail operation documented in excruciating detail, including evidence that could destroy the lives of 6 men and end my marriage forever. Or it could destroy one man's life and give me back everything I had lost. The choice was becoming clear. On Monday morning, I went back to work as if nothing had changed. Same basement, same broken equipment, same invisible routine, but everything was different. I now had Cale's complete files, his client contracts, his blackmail materials. I had enough evidence to bury him forever. The question was how to use it. I started with anonymous emails. Simple, untraceable, devastating. Dinkoier's wife received photos of her husband with Melissa, along with Cale's detailed notes on their affair. She filed for divorce that same afternoon. Joel Barrera's high school principal received video evidence of the teacher's relationship with a married woman, plus documentation showing he had used school property for personal meetings. He was suspended pending an investigation. Victor Show's ex-wife received Cale's files proving that Victor had had an affair during their marriage, not just after their divorce as he had claimed. She reopened their divorce settlement, demanding a larger share of the assets. Brennerston's current girlfriend learned about his ongoing relationship with his high school ex-girlfriend. She moved out that same day. Ronald Holland Premier Auto's boss learned that Ronnie had been using company time and resources to conduct his affair. Disciplinary action followed immediately. Each email contained the same footer. More evidence available upon request. By Wednesday, 4 of the 6 men had tried to call Melissa. I know because I was monitoring her phone. She stopped answering after the second day. On Thursday night, Cale showed up at the hospital. I was in the boiler room doing real maintenance work when security called. Yen, there is a guy up here looking for you. He says it is an urgent family matter. Send him down. Cale appeared 10 minutes later, his arrogance replaced by a barely contained rage. His face was scratched, and his left eye was swollen shut. What the hell have you done? I kept working on the boiler without looking up, fixing a resistor. Why? Do not play games with me. Someone has been leaking my files. That is a shame. I straightened up. wrench in hand. Security issues. Security issues. C's voice broke. Din Coyer and Victor Show jumped me last night outside Murphys. They beat me up. They said I ruined their lives. It sounds like they are upset about something. They are upset because someone sent their wives proof of their affairs. Proof that came from my files. Kill stepped closer, trying to use his size to intimidate me. Files that only you had access to. I put down the wrench and faced him. Are you suggesting I stole something from you? I am not suggesting anything. I am telling you that you broke into my house, copied my files, and are now using them to destroy my operation. That is a serious accusation. Do you have any proof? Kale's good. I burned with fury, but he could not answer. A forensic analysis might have detected my intrusion, but Kylato and checking until it was too late. This is what is going to happen, he said instead. You are going to pay me what you owe me plus damages for the men you have already destroyed. Otherwise, your wife's videos go public tomorrow. I almost smiled. What videos? You know what videos? The one showing Melissa with Din Sire, whose wife is divorcing him. With Joel Barrera, who has been suspended from his teaching job. With Victor Show, who is facing a lawsuit from his ex-wife. I picked up my toolbox. Those videos. CA's face paled. He was starting to understand. Those men have nothing left to lose. I continued. Their marriages are over. Their jobs are gone. Their reputations are destroyed. What do you think they will do if those videos come out? How do you think they will react to being publicly humiliated? CA's voice trailed off. They will end you. I said it matter-of-factly, as if discussing a repair schedule. Denier works in construction. Big guy, strong hands, access to power tools. Victor Show has guns. I saw the NRA stickers on his truck. Joel Barrera coaches wrestling. He knows how to inflict pain efficiently. Kill backed away towards the door. Are you bluffing? Am I? 2 of them have already beaten you up, and that was before they knew about the videos. What will happen when they find out you have been filming their most intimate moments? When they realize you plan to blackmail them too? I never. Your files say otherwise. Detailed notes on each man, their vulnerabilities, their bank accounts. You were building cases against all of them. I stepped closer. The only reason you started with me is because I am the husband. An easier target, more motivated to pay. Kale's arrogance was completely gone. He looked like what he was, a small-time crook who had gotten in over his head. What do you want? I want my wife's videos deleted. All of them. Every copy, every backup, every file. Fine. Done. What else? I want you to disappear. Leave town. Find a new hobby. Start over somewhere else. And if I do not, then tomorrow I will send the rest of your files to the right people. Ronald H.S. Boss will find out about the blackmail scheme. The police will get evidence of your operation, and most importantly, Din, Victor, and Joel will receive copies of everything, including your address. Kale stared at me for a long moment. Behind his remaining bravado, I could see fear taking root. He was finally understanding the position he was in. This is not over, he said. Yes, it is. He left without another word. I finished my repairs and clocked out at my usual time. On Friday afternoon, I received a package at work. Inside was a hard drive and a note. All deleted. I am gone. Do not look for me. I connected the drive and checked the contents. Kale's complete, unedited, and complete file. Every video, every photo, every document from his blackmail operation. He had given me everything as insurance, proof that he had kept his end of the bargain. I destroyed the drive that night. On Saturday morning, Melissa was waiting in our kitchen when I got home from my shift. We need to talk, she said. She looked older than her 41 years. The stress of the past week had carved new lines around her eyes, and her confident posture had collapsed into something smaller and defeated. About what? About us. About everything. She pointed to the coffee maker. I made coffee. I poured myself a cup and sat across from her at the table where we had shared 23 years of meals, conversations, and plans for the future. CA is gone, she said. I heard the others, their lives are falling apart. I have heard that too. She stared into her coffee cup. Din's wife has taken the kids. Joel has lost his job. Victor is facing bankruptcy. Her voice was barely a whisper. They are all destroyed. They made their choices. I did too. Yes, you did. We sat in silence for several minutes. Outside, our neighborhood was waking up. Children playing in yards, families starting their weekends. Normal people living normal lives. What happens now? She asked. It is filed for divorce. Irreconcilable differences. No fault. You will get the papers on Monday. Her head snapped up. Yen, please, we can get through this. Couples therapy, whatever it takes. 23 years. Melissa. 6 men. A contract with a blackmailer to arrange your affairs. I put down my coffee cup. There is nothing left to get through. It was not supposed to happen like this. It just got out of hand. You paid Kill to document your infidelity. That is not getting out of hand. That is premeditated. Tears started to roll down her face. I never wanted to hurt you, but you did every time for 2 years you chose to hurt me. I stood up. I will stay at the Antonin until the house sells. My lawyer will handle everything else. The kids will understand in time. I will not turn them against you, but I will not lie to them either. I left her sitting at our kitchen table, crying into her coffee. A part of me wanted to comfort her, to try one more time to salvage something from the wreckage, but that part was smaller than it had been a week earlier. Monday morning brought the divorce papers and a clean slate. Tuesday brought a cash offer on the house. Wednesday brought the news that Kill Brand had been found in a Detroit motel room, an apparent overdose victim. I felt nothing about Cale's death. He had made his choices too. On Thursday night, I was moving my belongings out of the house when Melissa appeared in the doorway. I saw the news about C. I continued packing my books. A lot of that going around lately. It was you. She stopped. It was me. What? Nothing. Forget it. She helped me carry boxes to my truck, and we worked in silence until everything was loaded. As I got into the driver's seat, she knocked on the window. Yen, I am sorry for everything. I rolled down the window. I know you were sorry. Does that matter? I thought about it for a moment. 23 years of marriage, 2 kids, a life built together and torn apart by decisions that could not be undone. Not today, I said, maybe never. I drove away, leaving her standing in the driveway of the house we had bought when we still believed in forever. In the rearview mirror, I watched her get smaller until she disappeared completely. The hospital was waiting for me for the night shift. The boilers needed maintenance, the pipes needed repair, and broken things needed to be fixed. I was good at fixing things. I had been doing it for 22 years. Some things, however, stay broken.